Alrighty. 2015 Women's NBL Rookie of the Year, Women's NBL Champ, representing the Australian Opals, and about to be representing Australia at the Commonwealth Games in the 3-on-3 basketball. Lauren Scherf, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate that. So you're heading to Birmingham tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah, head to the UK tomorrow and then get in preparation for the Comm Games.
That's exciting. How are you feeling?
I'm a little nervous. I haven't really thought about it. I've just been like getting my head right with preparation, organizing, training, just trying to stay away from people, trying to stay away from COVID.
It's around a
Yeah,
lot
just
right now.
trying it is. So just trying to do everything I can stay safe and healthy before the games. Yeah.
Yeah, so where are you based in Perth right now?
No, so I'm based in Melbourne.
Yep.
This is home, Melbourne is, and yeah, I play WNBL for Perth Lynx. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What's I guess the lead, how much 3-on-3 have you played?
So I haven't done a lot of 3-on-3. I'm a
Yeah.
bit of a late bloomer to 3-on-3. I only started playing it when lockdown in Melbourne, well, yeah, lockdown happened when COVID first started coming around. I was just working out at home, and then Annalie Maley was basically like, just come to MSAC. A bunch of us girls are just playing 3-on-3. Dave and Damon are taking it, so yeah, just come down for an extra body and see how you go. And yeah, I kind of just went from there.
Yeah, cool. Just to, I guess, clarify to people listening. So the Commonwealth Games have decided to scrap 5-on-5 basketball and they're just doing the 3v3 for this comp. Hey.
Yes. So yeah, so 5-on-5 isn't in Com Games. But yeah, lucky enough that 3-on-3 is.
Yeah, cool. I guess we'll talk about your 5-on-5 basketball career soon, but with the
Hmm.
3-on-3, do you enjoy the concept of 3-on-3?
Yeah, it's very different. I At first I didn't even really know how to adjust myself to the game, because I'm mostly like an inside presence, post player. I do find myself out on the wing, top of the key, but yeah, I'm very dominant in the inside. And I guess I had to adjust to having to be able to play on the perimeter, and yeah, getting the experience from playing against the girls that have been playing 3-on-3 for a while, and having coaches Damon and Dave there to guide me through on how to play it. It's a very like street ball, fast paced, quick game, kind of type of play. But I love it. I mean, just being able to, I guess, play a bit of one on one. There's more space, and yeah, you kind of get to utilize your talent more, and yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I actually work at a basketball academy myself, and
Hmm.
we kind of started bringing in 3-on-3s at the end of the end of our sessions because and like playing with the rules, the shorter shot clock,
Mm.
and all that sort of stuff. And when I was, I guess I've seen how the players kind of like adapt to those rules and the way
Mm.
you inbound the ball and just how quick it is. And I've watched you play, like I watched you play in the Women's NBL final and whatnot. And I didn't realize you were playing in the 3-on-3. And I'm hopefully talking to another Com Games athlete. And I was like, oh, I wonder who's playing in the basketball. So I was like, oh, okay. And so that's when I reached
Yeah.
out to you. And when I first saw your name there, obviously the first thing you think about is, oh, how's that person going to adjust their game for the 3-on-3? But
Mm.
I feel like your skill set, like sometimes you show off your handle a little bit, but your ability to pass the ball and you're pretty like, are you 6'5" ish, 6'6", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'6",
You,
yeah.
yeah, you're very mobile for someone like of that height, and just obviously like the way you played up in the top of the 3-point line, setting screens and stuff. I
Mm.
kind of was like, oh, I feel like she'd fit in perfectly in that 3-on-3 concept because obviously your finishing ability and stuff. So yeah. I have heard that a lot of people say that the 3-on-3 basketball is like a lot more physical as well. Do you find that?
Yeah, yeah. So the first camp, like the first proper camp we had, which was in Canberra last year, right before the pre-Olympic qualifiers, and it was like a 5-day camp at Canberra at the AIS, and I came away from that camp having about 50 bruises on my body. Just that's just how physically taxing the sport can be. Like, yeah, like like you think 5-on-5 is quite rough, but then you get onto 3-on-3 and it's just a different kind of ball game.
What do they, I guess in terms of the referees and the way they see it, do they allow more contact because of how much more space there is?
I'm not really sure. I think that it's probably to do with the fact, yeah, maybe that there's more space. That because there's a lot of one-on-one base, so it's like, there's a lot of up and in, like, trying to beat your man off the dribble and that kind of thing. But I'm not exactly sure why it's more physical, but I don't know if that's just because of the street ball vibe.
Yeah, yeah. Because you would like kind of think that, oh, the 3-on-3, there's going to be a bit more open space. But everyone that I've heard talk about it, they all feel like it's a more physical game. Do they allow a little bit more hand
Mm,
checking and things like that? I guess.
yeah, I think so. So there's a lot of physicality right before the shot that that you
Yeah,
can get away with. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So you've obviously put on that Australian jersey a few times. Obviously, getting to do it again at the Commonwealth Games is a pretty big deal.
Hmm.
How does that like kind of you put it on start of the tournament? Like, what's the feelings like?
Uh, so usually every tournament that I like, yeah, go into, like every campaign that I have with Australia, obviously, like it's always like an honor to put on the green and gold. And I always know that, yeah, how far I've come, and, I've done my family and friends proud of where I've gotten to. But I think going to Com Games will be a bit different just because it's much more a prestige tournament. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited for the opportunity to be able to play in front of, yeah, on a national, yeah. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Like it's gonna be, I'll definitely be nerve wracked before before we play. But I know that my teammates have my back and everything, so I know that I can trust them and they can trust me, and we can go out there united.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very excited to watch it. I was a little bit bummed when I saw that there was no 5v5, but the
Yeah.
3v3, when you said that you were happy to have a chat, I kind of looked up if you played the 3v3 and I found a couple of
Hmm.
games on YouTube and I was a little bit
Yeah.
high. I was like, this is really fun. It's just a lot of fun to watch
Yeah.
and yeah, so you leave tomorrow. What is does the comp start in about a week?
Yeah, so the comp starts on the 29th of June.
Yeah.
July, sorry, we're in July. Yeah, the 29th of July, and then I think it finishes on the 2nd of August.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I guess like once you land, what's your next week or so look like?
So we have a bunch of, well, yeah, once we land, we've got to organize everything, get our gear, settle in, just get used to the village. And then we will have, yeah, trainings, practice matches, just getting prepared for our first pool games. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you know Junior Albert. He's one of the managers for the Boomer squad. But
No.
yeah, okay. I'm mates with
Yeah.
him, and after
Yeah.
COVID, I talked to him a bunch, and he talked about like how much kind of like this restrictions and stuff on athletes and how much
Mm.
you couldn't do. Is there still a lot of restrictions on what you can and can't do once you're there?
I feel like there might be still some restrictions, just yeah, just for cautionary reasons. But yeah, I'm hoping we're able to go see like the other sports and go cheer on and encourage the other Aussie athletes. So hopefully that's something that we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's not something they were really able to do in the last Olympics, and I feel like that would be like
Yeah.
one of the more fun parts of it all.
Yeah.
Are you interested in other sports? Like, are there any sports you'd want to go watch?
Probably the netball.
Yeah,
Yeah, just because. yeah, I mean, netball's played here in Australia, so, and it's a known sport here in Australia. So yeah, would definitely want to go watch those girls.
Have you played much yourself?
Yeah, I played high school netball.
Yeah.
I wasn't any good at it. I couldn't really get the defender rule. The 1 meter have to be,
Yeah, yeah. I I
couldn't
I
really
play
get that.
I play socially at the moment, and like the stepping rule, everyone tries to
Hmm.
tell me that it's like you get 2 steps. I'm like, I get 2 steps in basketball, and you guys are calling me for stepping. So I don't understand what exactly I'm doing wrong right now. But because I've started playing that, like a few of the people on the team, they like to watch the Firebirds and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's so bad. The goal shooter for the goal attack, sorry, for the Firebirds, her name, Gretel.
yeah,
I don't know. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's like
yeah,
my
yeah,
she's like my favorite netball player, so I'll be watching the netball the netball as well. So my mates have been giving me a hard time, but I've become a bit of a
yeah.
netball fan. Um, um, I guess let's
That's
take
good
it.
though.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't mind taking it back a little bit because I don't know that much about you, and I was doing. It's fun to do a little bit of research before you talk to,
Hmm.
whatever whoever it is I'm talking to next, and I've talked to rugby league players and whatnot, and you can basically just find out their entire life story on Google, and then you kind of go to basketball, and there's just not a lot of information given of
Hmm.
the people that are playing in our top leagues. So yeah.
Hmm.
So what's your background? Growing up, where'd you grow up, and what type of kid were you?
Hmm.
And yeah.
So my background, so my dad is Kiwi and mum's an Aussie. So yeah, dad moved to Australia when he was 20, with his brother, and yeah, mum's just Aussie, so just get my bogan side from her. um, but yeah, I was always tall as a kid. When I think I was in grade 6, and lost my AirPod. Um, maybe cut this bit out.
No, you're good.
um, yeah, so when I was in grade 6, I was about 5'11". So I was really tall as
Oh
a
yeah.
kid. So yeah, I was doing all different sports as a kid. I originally was doing swimming and tennis and horse riding, so they were all very individual sports. And I was just playing domestically down at my local club here in Hurstbridge, and a few coaches at Diamond Valley obviously saw my height, and wanted to kind of come to a few tryouts at Diamond Valley and see what I could do. I really could not play basketball. I was really uncoordinated. I was just all legs and arms, and that was about it.
Well, as all 5'11" grade sixes are.
Yeah. And so because mum's a nurse and she was working night duty, so she didn't really want to. Didn't really have time, and neither did my dad, just because of working. And then I have a younger brother who's 2 years younger than me. So yeah, they had a lot on their plate, so they couldn't really invest more for me to play basketball as well as me doing swimming and tennis and everything. So it was like a year later, Diamond Valley, yeah, the coaches, Lorraine Capanilis and Matt Capanilis, contacted my parents again, asking me to come down and try out. And mum was like, okay, we'll give it a shot, see where she ends up. I ended up making the under 12s first team. um, and lucky enough that my teammates were willing, their parents were willing to help out and, help me to, drive me to Friday night games and everything while my mum could work and my dad could work and, also still look after my younger brother. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. And then I had to, yeah, my parents were like, you have to really consider what you want to do. Like, if you want to continue with basketball or, tennis or swimming, like we can't, they basically couldn't do it all with my brother as well. So just because, I felt that basketball, I don't know, I was really enjoying it, just like the camaraderie of it all and, being around other people and being a team sport. Like, I think that's kind of what had me stay with basketball and give up swimming and tennis as it was just more individual. Yeah, so I played at Diamond Valley under Lorraine and Mike Capanulis for about 2 to 3 years, just my under 12s and under 14 career. And then I moved to Melbourne at under 16s and played for a coach named Paul Simpson. And he basically brought me over. I was playing in the 16 twos. He was the coach of the 16 twos. And we had a really good young team. We made VC that year. And he basically didn't really want me to play the post. He wanted me to play a guard. So I was maybe like 6'2", 6'3" at the time. And yeah, I was playing as a guard. I wasn't just primarily a post. And I think playing under him and him developing my skills on the perimeter made me play the way that I do today. Because I think without that, I would still be like back to big post and still be inside the key. Like I wouldn't be able to shoot from the perimeter. Just like those, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I think that was the turning point.
it's an important part of like developing, I think, all the kids in Australia at the moment. Just in terms of like, I was pretty lucky into like, I used to coach at a high school, and the guy that ran that program, he was really big on, we're not here to necessarily win games, but we're here to develop players from a young age. And once they get to that top age group, then we can focus more on the winning side. But the tallest player has to play outside as much as the smallest player. And we are seeing, like, I guess, the fruits of that years down the track. And unfortunately, I don't coach that school anymore because I got the opportunity to work at a basketball academy. And I guess it's the same sort of thing. Like if we have a big come to us, they're going to do post work just like they're going to do perimeter work, and same with the guards as well. And it's, I guess you see where America's at with their basketball, and from 7 foot to 5'5", everyone's playing on the perimeter. And I guess that's the direction it's going.
Yeah, like I honestly think that, kids like need to not just only be pinpointed as one position, they need to do all positions. And I think that's what helps you become an all-round player, because you can not only play inside, but you can also play out on the perimeter. And I think that's just what helps or gives you that edge towards, another kid, or, that kind of thing. So I think that's really beneficial.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's under 16s.
Yeah, so that was under 16. So I finished out my junior career with Melbourne Tigers. And then throughout all that, I made the under 16s and the under 18s Vic Metro side. And so was lucky enough to be a part of all that. And then from there, I made the under 17s Australian national team. We went away to Amsterdam. We placed 5th there. And just to be like, I think just having that international experience and like being exposed to like a world, like a world international games or a tournament, really opened my eyes to where my basketball could really go.
Yeah.
And I was then lucky enough the following year to be a part of the under 19s Australian team, where we went off to Lithuania for the World Championships and won bronze there. And and then it kind of just like my career then just like progressed from there. And once I finished high school here in Melbourne, I then got a scholarship at the AIS for 6 months.
Yep.
Under Paul Goris, and just worked on my game and played in the under 19s Australian team again. We went away to Russia and won bronze there as well. And after that,
who was beating you guys in those matches to get
USA. For the when I was bottom age, when we were playing in Lithuania, we had our bronze medal match against Spain, and we were down by 17 points at halftime. I think it was. Yeah. And we
Yeah,
came back and we won. And that was
that's mad.
incredible. Like I just, yeah, remember like I was young, like I was just like, living it up, like being in the atmosphere of it all. And yeah, I remember just like screaming and yelling on the bench. Like we were just like so excited when the girls that were on the court, like we're getting we're making the score less and less. And yeah, that was epic. But yeah, Russia was hard. Um, yeah, like Spain.
It's obviously
Yeah.
noticeable uh playing those different countries and like the style of basketball
Mm.
and whatnot. And I mean, I was going to talk about your Australian when you represented the Opals earlier this year playing against Japan
Mhm.
and how they were just like up and in the whole time, and they weren't overly
Mhm.
big, but they were just real fast and whatnot.
Yep.
But we can get to that. But yeah, keep going on with what you were talking about.
No. Um, yeah. So yeah, got a scholarship, and then I got my first professional contract, playing at Dandenong Rangers, now known as Southside. And yeah, played at Dandenong for 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 seasons. And then I, yeah, in that time, so that was 2015. And yeah, I won Rookie of the Year.
That's pretty
And then
awesome.
I, thank you. Um, and then once I finished, yeah, and then after being there for 3 or 4 years, I made the move to Canberra and played under Paul Goris for 2 years at Canberra. And we were lucky enough to win the WNBL championship in my second year. And then I went to Sydney, played at Sydney for 2 years, and then played at Perth last year. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm playing for Perth again.
Like I was saying before, it is actually hard to go back and find content for the women's NBL and the
Mm-hmm.
NBL as the game grows. But in that championship team, what was your kind of role?
So my role, so Tolo was out. So Mariana Tolo, she
Mhm.
was out for the first half of the season. So my role, it was kind of like I had to kind of step up, be that bigger presence for Kelsey Griffin and Lilani, Kia Nurse, and Kelly Wilson.
Mhm.
And then once Tolo was healthy, I then got the experience and was able to train against her at trainings and, just kind of like grow and like be a sponge of Tolo's, just learn what she's learned over her years in her career and, just try and develop my game and, being able to play against her at training and, really helped my game be established, I guess. And yeah, like I enjoyed playing against Kelsey and Tolo at trainings. Like they really challenged me, really made, I guess, yeah, opened my eyes of, what it's like to be an Opal and everything like that. So yeah, like it was a really fun team to be on. Like I think just like having the younger girls like Christy Wallace and Maddie Rochi, just like yeah, being a part of all that and really like I've seen where what it can take and what you need to do to get a championship under your belt. So really want to strive and do that again for this coming season.
Yeah, and I guess you obviously got through to the grand final this year, and there was a lot
Mhm.
of talk about how this was a bit of a uh, you kind of made a leap this year in your own game.
Mhm.
I've heard like a few people say that, and you were talking about before learning about what it takes to be an Opal, be one of these high level players. Wo- a lot of people talk about how, oh, this person's made a leap, like what did they do differently to
Mhm.
make that leap? Obviously progression doesn't always look like, oh, I just did this one thing and all of a sudden I'm a lot
Yeah.
better. Sometimes progression actually looks like years of putting in the foundations of it and
Mm.
whatnot. But I guess for you, the fact that you did have a bit of a leap of a year, what would you credit that to? Is there anything you did differently, or was it just kind of like the years of progressively coming into your prime, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know if I did anything differently. I obviously signed at Perth, didn't know, like, I knew what Ryan had done the following year with Perth, being in the hub. I knew Darcy, I knew Sharpie, I knew Sammy. I didn't really know what to expect coming into Perth. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was that changed it. I don't know if it was the different style of play that we were playing, and like the caliber of players that we had in Jackie and Marina. I I don't know. I know that I felt really good coming off the Opals campaign in Jordan for the Asia Cup, and and I think being in Perth, like I have a really good support system. So I don't know if it came down to that, but I don't know. I just know that last season, like I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being under Ryan. I really enjoyed playing with all those girls, and so that might have had something to do with it. I don't really know. I can't really pinpoint it.
Yeah.
But I guess, I wouldn't have signed back there if I didn't, want to keep progressing on my game. And because I know the kind of style that Ryan has. So,
Yeah.
and I think I just fit in really nicely to that puzzle piece.
Yeah, for sure. How long have you signed on for?
Just the one.
Just
Yeah.
another, yeah,
The
yeah.
one. Yeah.
And you got after that first game of the finals, you you were looking pretty good. Obviously didn't quite go to plan, but you can see how
Mm.
you do fit into that. Do you fit into that puzzle? Your perimeter play is really good, and then having you just like we talked about before, kind of at the top, and
Mhm.
I felt like you could have got more touches in the second game, but that's one of the things for bigs, I feel,
Yeah.
where like sometimes the bigs just don't get the touches. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean we had so many stars on that team, like
yeah,
in Sammy and Jackie and Marina, that like I mean you don't come across that every day, like where you're coming into training and you're playing against elite players, and like being able to play with those kind of like those girls, like it's you're never going to be able to experience that again. I don't think, like it's you really got to like cherish that moment and just like
yeah, for
be
sure.
present in that time. Because it's because like again, our Perth Lynx team this year is just completely different. Like it's very different. So just being able, like my WNBL championship, like you just got to like cherish and be present in that moment, because like that team is never always going to be the same again.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Am I getting really dark? Because it's starting to get dark here, and
No, you're good.
I'm gonna turn a light on real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right. So yeah, obviously a successful year. A year going to the women's NBL finals is a successful year. So
Yes.
um, ooh, sorry, just a little notification popped up.
You're good.
But yeah, uh, so were your games against Japan? They were after the NBL, the women's NBL finals, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
they were. Yeah.
So when you were coming into that camp, what was it like? Kind of that first time seeing Kayla George there again, and having to match up against her. Was there like a little bit of like I'm gonna hit her a little bit harder on this box out, or anything like that? Oh no.
No, I don't have any remorse to those Boomers girls. No, I obviously, after the loss of the WNBL finals, it took me a little bit to really like have it sink in, and because I think, especially for us Perth girls, we had a 11-week preseason. We then had to relocate to Ballarat in Victoria, and we had to, without knowing if we'd be able to go back home to Perth. So we were there for 7 weeks, and then having to go back to Perth isolating again for a week, and then playing 4 home games in 8 days, and then, being back on the road for the last round, and then getting into the WNBL finals. I think, like, just what we went through was just, like, we should be at, like, just be proud and, what we achieved just with the amount of, like, barriers that were held up against us, like, just being resilient and everything that we went through and still make the WNBL finals. Like, I think it was just, yeah, just being able to, get there and still know that we accomplished something, and, like, not trying to make it an excuse or anything, but
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
think, yeah, just, like, being, doing that and, just trying to be resilient with everything that we went through, was just, like, hats off to us, I guess. But obviously winning is ultimately what you want. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, got no remorse against those, Boomers girls. Yeah, love them to bits, but yeah, came into camp and yeah, it was just, it was all cheery, all happy, all laughs and high fives. So, and it was just, we're now on the same team. We're all trying to make one another better. We've all got a new goal. It's the World Cup campaign, and so we're all just here to, you know, try and get better for that.
Yeah, and that's obviously a goal for you. Hey, making that World Cup
Yeah,
squad. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So obviously, um, yeah, I was cut from the squad. Now, yeah, so the girls are off in New York,
Oh, I
currently
didn't realize that.
training,
Sorry.
and yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, training and, getting in preparation, yeah, for the World Cup. So yeah, I mean, yeah,
I mean, as
yeah.
you're kind of like only just starting to come into your prime right now, and so I would say the way you played this year, just and your ability to at 6'6" pass the ball, finish, and all that sort of stuff. There's no reason why you're not going to put on Australian jersey a whole bunch throughout your career, I feel.
Thank you, thank you. But no, yeah, no, I wish all the girls the best of luck, and we'll be cheering them on from home, and yeah, so yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to watch them at World Cup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I didn't realize, but apparently to have long conversations on Zoom, you have to upgrade and pay for it. I've gotten this little notification saying like your time's starting to run out, but we've got a little bit of time. What
Yeah.
I guess as that's a long flight to Birmingham. Hey, are you a reader? Are you watching the TV? Like what are you doing on the way over?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna try and knock myself out for majority of that
Yeah.
flight.
Is it like 20? It's like close to
But
24 hours, isn't it?
yeah, so we got to fly to Perth first, and then we go from Perth to Birmingham. So the Perth to Birmingham is like a 17-hour flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's close to, like, yeah, 24 hours. So I don't know what you do in 24 hours, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been to Europe before and we did the like Brisbane to Singapore, to
Mhm.
Europe. And it's a long time to be sitting.
Yeah.
And I'm not 6'6", so it's
Yeah. You might find me walking around the aisle quite a bit.
yeah. But no, I appreciate you hopping on today and giving
Thank
us a
you
little
for
bit of
having
an
me.
inside where I'm excited to be watching the 3v3, and I know a lot of other people are, and yeah, just thanks for hopping on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for Comm Games. Yeah, it's gonna be one, yeah, for the history books.
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, the fact that you're getting to play in the first 3v3 tournament at the Commonwealth Games, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, now that I'm actually, like, thinking about it, like, I'm getting, yeah, excited for
no,
it.
it is going to be very cool. So yeah, no, good luck and thank you for hopping on.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
I'll just stop the recording.